Okay, so in the video for today, I'm going to show you how to use the supplies from your tie-dye craft kit here to tie-dye a t-shirt. So your bag should have a pair of gloves, a couple of bottles of tie-dye, a bunch of rubber bands, a plastic bag, and most importantly, a t-shirt, because you can't tie-dye without a shirt. So let's get started. We're going to need the t-shirt and the rubber bands to get started. So there's lots of different techniques for doing tie-dye. We're just going to try a basic swirl pattern, and I'm not going to lie, I haven't done this with the t-shirt, so it could come out to be a big mess, but we'll see. So to start, we're going to pick a spot and pinch it, and then you're going to twirl the t-shirt around that spot. And for the kind of dye that we have, you don't have to have the fabric wet. You can if you want to try that. It's a different technique, so if you want to wet the fabric, you can. And also, I will say the instructions recommend washing your t-shirt before you dye it, but I didn't do that, so we're gonna see how it comes out because I didn't wash it in advance. So once you have it all twisted like that, you're going to try to hold it all together and use the rubber bands that you have to hold it all in place. Kind of adjust as you need to keep the swirl pattern going. And you can use as many rubber bands as you want. I'm probably gonna use like maybe 4. So you want to try to get them all to cross in the center. You can see they're all kind of crossing here in the center because we're turning this into a bunch of pie segments. There we go. So I know it might be hard to see because it's white rubber bands on white fabric, but there's 4 rubber bands making 8 little pie segments. Flip it over on the back. My swirl looks even better on this side. So just kind of tuck in all the fabric so it's all held together as you need to. Okay, so now we're gonna get ready to dye. So we've got to get the dye ready. So we're gonna take these bottles and you're gonna fill them up to this line here, shake them up, and then we'll be ready to dye. All right, I filled up my bottles and now you can see all of the dye. There you go. You can see the dye is still kind of all hanging out here at the bottom. So I'm going to shake these up really well so that they're all mixed together. Quick tip, I recommend when you're shaking this, put one finger on the cap to hold it while you shake, just to make sure that nothing goes flying off and you don't end up with dye spread across your room. All right, for this next step, you're going to want to put on the gloves that came in your kit. And we've got our dye, we've got our shirt here. And if you have something to work in, like I've got this bin here, that would be great. Otherwise, definitely spread out a tablecloth. You might want to work outside, and just extra careful. I can use some plastic bits here to put here so that this bin won't get all stained up. So definitely protect your work surface with something plastic. Also, when you're tie-dyeing, if you have some kind of metal grate to use, like something like a cookie sheet that you can use to put this on so that as you're dyeing it doesn't sit in the dye, that would be ideal. I don't have one of those, so I'm going to do it without that, but if you have one, you can go ahead and use it. It's not a big deal if you don't have one though. Okay, so these have been all shaken up, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to alternate every other one with the colors. So I have so I have kind of this salmon orangey color, and oh, and also another reason to wear gloves is this is leaking a little bit, so keep an eye on that. And this purple color. One thing you want to keep in mind is that depending on what colors you have, especially if you have very contrasting colors, if they bleed into each other too much, they might get kind of muddy. So contrasting colors are the ones on the opposite side of the color wheel. So that would be like purple and green, red and purple and yellow, red and green, and blue and orange. So if you happen to have a combination of those colors, try not to have them mix too much because they'll end up a little bit muddy. And for all my instructions about not mixing the colors, they sure are mixing a lot here. So, you know, do as I say and not as I do. So this tie dye, there's a pretty good amount in here. So if you have more left over and you want to do another project after you're done with this, you can always do that. You want to try to use it within 72 hours of adding the water, because after that it won't be as concentrated, and so you just won't end up with colors that are as vibrant. So just a heads up that if you are planning on trying to repurpose the extra in the bottle after you're done. I'm gonna flip this over now, and you can see where it kind of soaked through some. You can try mixing your colors also. So if you do have colors that mix well, you could try combining your tie-dye colors. So all right, so that's good. I'm gonna call this good. So now what you're gonna do is you're going to, once you have it how you want it, you're gonna get the other plastic bag that I gave you in your kit, and you're gonna put it inside of it. And grab it up tight as you can get it, because you want it to not dry out while it's waiting. Put a couple of rubber bands around the outside to keep it. And you might want to grab another plastic bag from home to cover it up if you ended up with a lot of dye on the outside like I did here. What you're going to do is you're going to let this sit and dry for 6 to 8 hours, so you can leave it overnight if you're doing this in the evening. And then you're going to take it out, carefully remove the plastic bag and the rubber bands, and you're going to wash it, rinse it out in the sink until the water is running nearly clear. Then you're going to wash it in your washing machine with a little bit of laundry detergent on hot, and then take it out and dry it, and then it'll be done. So I'm going to do those steps at home. I'm going to take it home and see how it comes out, and I will show you the results. Alright, here is my finished shirt. So you can see that because I did not pre-wash my shirt, the dye had trouble soaking into the interior layers of the shirt. So there is a lot of lighter spots, but it's harder to see in the video, but in color it's all kind of a pinkish color, which looks kind of cool. So it kind of has a little bit of a paint splatter effect on it, which I like. There you go. Hope your shirts come out great.